Hey everybody, this is Max Farrow, and this is Dex Trader, and this is Trading Live with Max. I made a boo-boo. I thought I was recording. It wasn't recording. I didn't hit the button. I'm sorry. Please don't hold it against me. We had a signal finally come out. We had a ton of news this morning. We didn't get a lot into these because the news moved the signals way into past the money margins on Nadex. So it wasn't our fault it was on Nadex. We couldn't get into a good price there. But the signal for the USD JPY came out. I quickly jumped over to our trading view. We're looking at this in an up buy position, looking pretty strong. We're in the counter trend movement now, so right around in here, and we're looking to come back up. Okay, if this happens to revert back down to past 110.03 at on the 1 minute chart, any bar closes over the 1 minute chart past 110, 102, or somewhere in that area. Make sure that you're bailing on this thing, okay? So very quickly. Now, I got in at 110.06. The signal calls for 04. Now, on the buys, because there is a differential in the spot Forex, okay, which is down here, okay, 130. The price is at 113 right now, and Nadex, which is sitting over at 113 right now. But if I use spot here, let me show you real quick. USD JPY, let me click over to it. Sitting at 110.13 in that area. Usually there's a little bit of a difference from that position. So about a pip and a half to a pip and a third, pip 0.3 kind of stuff, right? Right around in that area. So since that's the case, I went with 2 pips higher from our signal. Okay, I was able to get into that. I don't suggest that. This makes it a little higher risk, which I have to really start paying attention to right around in the next half an hour. I really want to start watching that market to make sure that we're able to penetrate some of these margins that are on here. On my support and resistance area here, let me get over to it. Okay, we have one sitting at 114. So I want to see a positive push past this in the next half an hour. If not in the next 2 bars on this 15-minute chart, at least on the, let me get to the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart. Okay, there's 109, here's 113 right in that area. Let me move my screen over just a little bit. Okay, that's 123. So on the 5-minute chart, not so much of a line in the sand here, but on this 15-minute chart, I'm really looking at being at this internal intraday support and resistance line here above this 113. This is really important. Why? This is considered a structure marker, right? If I pierce that, I'm pretty much bouncing off that all the way up, right? Up to at least 110.28. And that should keep me well within my margin at that point, right? Even though that the Dex MACD is pointing down at this point, I know that there's still a value for this to be able to pop back up here. The down margin comes from this movement right here with a little bit of return and start coming back down in this movement. But again, still keeping within the structure of an uptrend on this 15-minute chart of higher highs and higher lows, okay? So as long as this can penetrate and close over that line, I'm excited. All right, so we'll see what happens. I'll come back in a microsecond for you, but in several moments for me. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so just a quick microsecond here to go. We've seen a movement with this process, but listen, there's still a lot more opportunity here for this minute to close out. I'm on a 5-minute chart right now, and I've set a 15-minute bar at 110.14. I want to kind of lower that just a little bit. 13, right about there, okay? Because what I want on this 5-minute chart is that I want penetration. Now that we've closed over this chart, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zip in here real close. You can see that this is 110.13.8 on that area. It's closed above that. Kind of started straddling this, playing this game here. What I'm hoping on is that we can pull back up into this zone and keep moving upwards. This is really important because on this 5-minute chart that we're using now, because we're looking at this as a closing. We're looking at this area as a marker to us, a position of staying in the trade. We're making cases to stay in the trade. I teach you in our systems in our series how to figure out whether should I get into the trade and what the flows there are to get there. And then once you're in, staying in the trade. On these longer term trades of, in these intraday systems, you could be 5 minutes or 30-second trades, whatever. But on these intradays, I want you to really look at the solution values here of staying in the trade. You know, why am I going to stay into it? Am I going to scalp out? Am I going to stay in? Should I take the money out, or what have you? This is what you'll end up learning throughout the series of trading with me live. I take my money very seriously. In the previous video also, because I had somebody just ask me, have you started the incremental crawl? And the answer is yes. Previous videos I was doing 1 and 2. I'm up to 3 now. And why, if I have so much confidence in my system, somebody asked me, why do I just only trade to 3? Why don't I just do all 10 and all? Because listen, I'm human. I take a break for a while. The mentality of trading gets in the middle there, so you tend to kind of pull back a little bit. And the only way that I can protect myself is to use my system, which works. My system works because it works well for me. I use the trader's mind mentality, and I do an incremental crawl because it sustains my functionality to make sure that as I've been away for a little while, getting back into it, I'm not suffering huge losses just to relearn it again or to train my body again, right? It's like I can equate it to somebody who's about to run a triathlon, who's taken a long-term time off. You don't just go run a triathlon the very next day. No, you stretch, you turn, you train, you reform your body, all that stuff. And it's the same thing you do with your mind. So I hope you understand that, Ryan, and everybody else. I'll see you in another microsecond. Here's the 1 minute chart. Get the 1 minute chart here, because I want it to be down right around here. Here's where the structure gets broken right here. So if I can outlast this, is the biggest process. So I got about a minute left here to see if this will bounce off of this structure here, because if it closes down there below that, it breaks the structure, and I got to make sure that I'm not too far below to be able to lose too much money. I'm going to lose, you know, probably about a third of my profit or of my system here, but I'm hanging on to that because I'm looking at that margin staying right around there, the 1 minute chart. Okay, so there we go. We're sort of playing that again. It's breaking the structure. Back into the market. Easily enough, if we look here, we did see, because here's the immediate point of structure. Okay, if we would have tried to put it down around this area, we would have probably got out of the market prematurely. We were hoping that it would come down and bounce off of this and come up to right around this area. Scroll all the way. Why am I scrolling? There we go. Okay, we came pretty close there for a minute because we got really down to breaking structure, right? Because even if this is still on a downward trend, okay, this little hump here, okay, we wanted to kind of come back into that. So we didn't want to be dropping down anymore. We want to be going up. We got about 9 minutes left, 2 5-minute bars left of the trade, and 9 1-minute bars left of the trade. So we're just we're playing the game right now. We're playing the hook game right now. And what that hook game is that where are my immediate draws of resistance and support. And right now, in this 1 minute chart that I'm on, this 103 margin's my support, and this right around in this area right in here, this 110 1704 is our resistance. So we're kind of playing this game here, right? It's going to be above or below if we're sitting at 50%. And why is that? Well, if we were able to get the 104 strike that the signal came out on, okay, if we were able to get that, we'd be sitting pretty. We'd be sitting pretty because that's the market. But market makers are smart. They know what to set their statements at. They know where to get them at. They know how to play this game well enough. It's a 4-pip difference between the two. If I was able to get 102, we'd probably be sitting pretty good right now. Okay? So we're going to play this. It's going to, we feel it's going to flip and be on that top side of it over the next 10 minutes here. See, we keep getting this long version of the process, you know, being able to go on the long side. So I'm documenting all this, and if you see me splice all this stuff in and put everything in, it's that everything that we're talking about has proven to this point. So we're hoping to take this thing to the next level. All right, see you in a second. Of course, as soon as I said see you in a second, the market starts to shift and head into that direction. I'm going to remove this. You can kind of see where it's going to be heading to. This is an intraday, because we're on the 1 minute chart. Back to 15 minute. It's going to be sort of out of put here. On the 5 minute chart, it doesn't really give me too much detail. I got to get on the 1 minute chart because we're at that point now, and we're playing this little travel to 110.08, which will be about 110.09 on Dex or on Nadex here. So we're kind of hoping to stay this margin, and get to that top of the hour at the 1 o'clock hour. The London market's already closed, so we're hoping that the fluidity of the market here. Again, we're talking about 3 contracts at $26 profit margin, so roughly around 80 something bucks here that we're looking on the process. Now we're back in, well, we were back in the green there for the first time. We're hitting 108, hoping that we can kind of stay there and just stay with that pinch. If we could stay with this pinch at just this last 6 minutes here, we're golden. All right, so I'll pause out and we'll see you here in a second. All right, so we're back here, and it's the last milliseconds of the trade. We're just about getting to the 2-minute mark here. We're sitting pretty close here at the 1.5 process here, so I'm not too worried about it. Again, we got pretty close there for a while. We were even out of the money for some time, and that's basically the way the trades go here. So I think that was its last little move there to kind of push us around, scare us out of the market a little bit. Came pretty close there, and it still could take that loss, and if it does, I'll broadcast it and you'll see it here live. All right, but in the meantime, I'm going to come back here in the last few seconds so I can do my Hail Marys then. All right, so you don't hear me cursing. Let's just say that. All right, I guess you're down to the last couple of seconds here. We're going to be doing about 40-second countdown here. We're at 1:10, 1:08. So hopefully you can kind of just stay there unless there's a big giant burp and everything falls out of the market. And at that point, that's the way this shit happens. I'll also be doing some commentary on the video itself and see, there you go. They let it go. They're like, okay, we're enough holding it back. Let's make it happen now. Now the market's pushing in that right direction. About 18 seconds left. But in this video, we came awfully close to getting out of the trade actually as well. And I had to really look at and concern myself. In fact, I did a lot of that commentary. I had to stop the video because there was too many things going on. Trying to keep the video going and things were moving too slow. There we go. Big winner. There we go. 3 contracts, 26 bucks. Not too bad. Now remember, I'm starting out again trading after some time off and incrementally crawling. And I'm using my incremental crawl method. But it's not balance based. As you can kind of see right now, my balance is not very much. It's good. It's not a lot. It was up in the tens of thousands before. And I pulled a lot of money out because I wasn't trading a lot. And plus, I pull a certain amount out per month. So I was able to trade enough in a couple of months before I moved, because I was moving from one state to another to get to here. So I was able to live off of those residuals from that position. So basically, I didn't really start over, but here's where we are. All right, so you're going to see the accounts getting, the amount of contracts getting higher and higher as we go. All right, well, that was another successful win. I was actually okay with showing you a loss and what a loss looks like. But, there we go. There's another wins to the process. 3 contracts at that point. I'll go ahead and put that over in my journal, and we'll see you next time. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex Trader and Trading Live with Max. And as always, trade well.